Hello world. Anybody out there? I'll give you just a minute to get notified that I'm online, that I'm going live here, or I've gone live. And this is a live recording too, so if I don't see anybody online, it's okay. I'll record it live anyway. Just give it a few minutes. That's my smoothie. Hope that everybody's doing good. It's raining here in Chicago. Had a big thunderstorm last night. Lots of thunder and lightning. Okay, well, I don't see anybody, which is fine. No problem at all. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dominic Serta. I am the author, actually the co-author. My wife is the other author of the book called Manager Hacker. The subtitle reads, How to Stop Getting Screwed Over by a Shitty Boss and the Secret Hacks to Get Promoted Fast. I've been in management for most of my life. I managed several large groups of people in different countries all over the world for a personal development organization. I had 4 or 5 of my own companies. 4 or 5. I had 4 of my own companies and sold those off. So my management experience has been interesting. And I taught management skills to large corporations all over the world. You can see my bio on LinkedIn, and if you're really interested. So I am here to share the second of 5 secret hacks to get you promoted faster than you think that you can. Last week we talked about the first one, which is to energize yourself. You're expected to come to work, to show up to work energized. And we had one question from one of the people that were on the call. I said, well, what if I work remotely? And yeah, your manager obviously can't see your energy, but when you're on the phone, they can hear your energy. So remember that one of the most important things is that your manager they need to see and hear the changes that you're making, okay? So I'll get right into the second hack, which is empower yourself. Empower. And if you don't remember, if you don't know already, there are 4 ways that your manager, your boss, is supposed to develop you, okay? Now, I think those are backwards. But the first one, let me see if I can make it work this way. I need a light, but I don't have a light. So anyway, it's energize you, empower you, support you, and communicate with you. Those are the 4 primary ways. Now, they don't always do that. So it gets to be weird, right? So what I tell people is to empower yourself. And so here's what the hack is about. Very simply. Your manager delegates tasks, projects, responsibility, and authority to you. But they don't always give you the tools or the resources to do that. That's pretty common. They don't always have the budget, whatever it might be. They do their best. Not in all circumstances, but sometimes it happens. So what ends up happening is that you get frustrated, then they get frustrated, and everybody else gets frustrated, and then you start to ask your boss for the tools and resources that they said they were going to give you, and they don't have the tools, but they still want you to get the job done. So when it comes to empowering yourself, it's really important that you understand what the real root of the problem is, okay? And here it is. It has to do with expectation. As a manager, right, I have this expectation. In our book, we explain the 21 reasons why you were hired, one of which is for you to take initiative. So from the manager's perspective, they're thinking, well, even though you may not have all the tools, they expect that you take initiative. So the problem with that is when you don't perform to those expectations or to that one, they get frustrated with you. But they don't tell you about their frustration until when? Until the performance review. So this is about helping you to foresee this problem and do something about it, right? So here's the issues. Your manager doesn't have time to deal with you not taking charge. That they think is your responsibility. Even though they didn't give you all the tools, they still think it's your responsibility to take initiative, to take charge. And if you complain or sound needy, well, what the manager sees is that you're weak or that you're incompetent in some way, right? And you end up giving them reasons. You end up giving them reasons to regret hiring you. That's the problem, okay? That's the issue. And you give them reasons not to promote you. So if you're looking for a promotion, keep listening, okay? What I'm about to tell you is important for two reasons, okay? Now, again, it's from the manager perspective. The less burden you are on your manager, the more likely they will like you. It's important. As a manager, you need to like your people, because if you don't like them, if I don't like my people, then it makes it very difficult for me to give you opportunity, right? So that's the first one. The second one is the more that you take charge, the more likely you will be chosen for future projects and promotion. Okay? 3 ways that you will benefit. First one, you take up less of your manager's time, which I promise you they really like. They will be more successful. Okay? Yes, this is about them. This is also about you, but this is, from their perspective, about you, about them. Sorry. Hi, Abdallah. Good to see you again. Hope that you're well. You've missed about 5 minutes, but hey, you can go back and watch the video, right? So they're going to be more successful. This is all about them. And number 3, that you will shine brighter, right, than everybody else. And that's why it's important, because you want your promotion, you need to shine. Okay? So how do you solve the problem? First and foremost, you have to remember the first rule of 2 very important rules of Manager Hacker. And the first one is, yes, you guessed it right, is to always hack yourself first. You always make sure that you have all your shit together. Because what I say is, nobody can fuck with you when you have your shit together. That's just the way that it is. So you have to keep your act together. You don't fall into this, oh, I'm burnt out. Oh, this is not the right job for me. No, you have to deal with it. So if you want to get out of your job and promoted, listen to this one, okay? So here are 8 super effective ways, okay, the things that you can do. First of all, you got to remember to keep it on the down low. Stay incognito, just like you do in your browser. You want to go see something you don't want nobody to know you looked at, you stay incognito, right? Don't be obvious. Be visible and be heard, but don't be obvious. You're a manager hacker, right? This is your job. So be clear about your role, number 1. Make sure that you understand. Now, this may sound simplistic, but, you know, people forget. That's why we're here, right? You have to make sure that you're completely clear. You go back to your manager, say, I need some clarification. Don't be the kid in the back of the room that doesn't raise their hand and say, I don't understand, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to get a failing grade and, you know, it's not going to work. So, number 1, be clear about your role. Number 2, assume the power to make decisions. It's always easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to lose a customer, right? From your manager's point of view, they don't want you to lose a customer. You may not be in a situation where you're always customer facing, but that's really what it boils down to. That's number 2. Number 3, if you're on the front line, be a leader. Be the example. Be the one that people look to. Be the person that they come to when they have a question, because they may be the one that is afraid to go talk to the manager or ask the manager. So be a leader on the front line. Number 4, take responsibility for your work ethic and the quality of your work. Very important. Don't ever say, well, it wasn't my fault, or I didn't have the tool. Don't be a blamer. It's really important that you take that responsibility on, because if you start coming up with excuses from the manager perspective, they see, they're not really taking charge. Hi, Amira. Good to see you. Hoping that your baby's doing fine. Here's a good one. Number 5, perform the way that your manager wants you to perform. Some people have a tendency to kind of get stuck in doing things their way. But if you're in a situation where your manager has a preference about doing things their way, don't resist. Just do it their way, because it's going to take away the friction. Very important. Number 6, if you share a role with someone, so let's say you take on an extra project. If you share a role, look for ways to express the things that the other person is doing that makes them shine. Because when you do that, when you make other people shine, you shine even more. Really important, okay? Number 7, stay aligned with the purpose of the organization. I get questions all the time. People are like, well, what if we don't know the purpose of the organization? We just make hangers, or whatever it might be. They don't really understand. If you're not clear about the purpose of the organization, you need to get clear so that you have something that you're coming to work for every day, that you're making a contribution. Number 8, ask other team members how you can improve. People don't do that because they're afraid to hear bad feedback. And if you go to a coworker and say, hey, I've been wondering, what you think. I'd like to get your opinion. Is there something that I'm doing or something that you can tell me that I could get better at? They're going to be like, oh, sure. So it's important, again, to be proactive, ask them the question instead of waiting for someone to give you the feedback, because you know how it is. If you see somebody doing something that is not working, there's always this hesitation. Oh, I shouldn't tell them because they're going to get offended. No. You go and you ask the other person what you can do better, right? Number 9 is build your self-esteem. If there's something about you that needs work, let's say, for example, you're a little bit shy. It happens to a lot of people. There was a time where I was really shy. I don't know if you can believe that or not, and I was. The mentor that I was working with, he said to me, when you're out in the world, walk up to people, like in the grocery store. Don't freak them out, but walk up to them and shake their hand and start a conversation with them. What? Yes. Especially at work, you can do that because it's a normal thing. If there's a new employee or somebody's visiting, walk up to the person with a big smile, introduce yourself, start a conversation. That you will get over your shyness very quickly. So do little things that challenge you, okay? In your personal life, that'll raise your self-esteem. Number 10, set your own personal goals outside of work, just like you do inside of work. I hear people all the time saying, yes, I've got all these targets to reach at work, and it's very difficult, and but most people don't set their own personal goals. It's really important because it's inspiring to do that. And it's not about keeping the goals up here, it's about writing them down and making yourself go through the process. On this self-achievement page, there is a worksheet that I attached a couple weeks ago where it asks you specific questions about your goals for 2017. So you can download that and use that as your template, okay? Easy to do. So, the bottom line on empowerment, work with what you have. Don't complain, work with what you have. Commit your request to writing, to email, so you have a timestamp on there. So if you don't have something, don't just walk into the manager's office, and if you're getting a hard time getting it, don't just walk in there and say, boss, this is what I need. No. Write it down so you have a timestamp on it, so at least when it comes to performance review time and you're having an issue with something, you say, I did send you an email on this date. I can show it to you. I've been asking for the request, so please, cut me some slack. Above all, don't waste your manager's time. It's important that you take the initiative, make tough decisions when you have to, find ways and think about things that you're doing that may be wasting their time, because if you have a busy manager, like I used to be, when people come to me with small questions, it's like, why don't you just answer your own damn question, right? So make sure you don't get yourself into that situation. Secretly, the truth is this, that your manager expects you to help them reach their goals first. Okay? They always say, oh yeah, I'm here to help you reach your goals. But the bottom line is, the reason why they are wanting you to, want to help you reach your goals is because they want to reach their goals. And just like you want to reach your goals more than they do. So it's the same thing with the manager. Your manager needs to see and hear change in you. They need to see and hear it. Otherwise, nothing happens, right? You're not gonna be the one that gets promoted. So make sure that they can hear you. Use your words. Use your body. Your body is a tool. Physiology, tonality, right? And the words that you use. Okay. Make sure that you're using that, because it's a fantastic tool. Change your beliefs about your ability. Now that's a really tough one, but listen to this. We all know this guy named Tony Robbins, right? The productivity guru. And here's what he says. He says, all personal breakthroughs begin with a change in beliefs. I love that. So how do we change? He says, the most effective way is to get your brain to associate massive pain to the old belief. How do you do that? He says, you must feel deep in your gut that not only has this belief cost you pain in the past, but it's costing you pain in the present, and ultimately can only bring you pain in the future. So here's what he says you need to do. You must associate tremendous pleasure to the idea of adapting a new empowering belief. That sounds wonderful, but how do you do it, right? How do you actually do it? Let me share something I've done, okay? Hundreds of times. This works, okay? You go stand in front of the mirror. You look into your eyes, right? And then you begin to talk to yourself about changing whatever it might be. A habit, a routine, and you talk about everything and how you've been struggling and how you've been talking to yourself about why it's not working and how you feel whatever, not healthy or whatever it might be. And then you begin to talk to yourself about the change and how you're going to do it and how easy it really is going to be. And it's just a mindset and how you're going to feel when you begin to make this change. And you just keep going on and on and on until till you get a shift in your brain. So stand in front of the mirror. It's a fabulous idea. The mirror is like the guru, the boss man, right? Because you're up against you. You know that. All these quotes on Facebook aren't going to do a damn thing for you. You got to do it on your own. So go to the mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the most amazing of all? Remember, people who say they're in charge, right, of themselves, these are the people who actually make the hard changes. We've all got them to do. I've got them to do. So when you have a tough change, go stand in front of the mirror. Talk to yourself. Hi, Islam. Rock and roll. So here's what I want. I'm done. Here's what I want you to do. If you have questions, I mean, if you have any questions right now, you can post them. I'll give you a minute. But as you're thinking about them and typing them in, if you have a question, go to the Self-Achievement group on Facebook. Okay, it's facebook.com/groups/self-achievement. Okay, type your question in there, get a conversation going, use the group. I'll be there. Okay, if you have any questions. I don't see any questions up there. Connect with us on the website, instituteforselfachievement.com, or you can type in managerhacker.com, or you can type in my name, DominicCerta.com, DominicCerta.com. Okay, I'm looking for questions. I don't see any. Rock and roll. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. I'm here to help whenever I can. And if you got value from listening to this, please, the most important thing is that I've helped you. And if I have, please comment and share. Very, very important to me. Thank you all so much. See you next time. I will let you know when I'll be back. Oh, wow. I'll be back next Tuesday talking about the third hack. The third hack is being supportable. How you can be supportable. Ways, physical ways that you can show your manager to be supportable. Rock and roll. See you guys. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you guys.